Hello, hi there everyone, and welcome to my show. I'm your host Ferdinand, and today we're going to talk about the prison population. How much does it cost, and who's benefiting the most? Now, UK prisons are quite overpopulated, very much overpopulated. The last figures I looked at, bring up some stats the other day, but the last figures I looked at was something between England, Wales, and Scotland. Um, It was the overall prison population was about 93,000 plus, 93, almost 100,000 people incarcerated in the prisons of England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. Okay, so quite a lot amount. If um, uh, I stand corrected, it could be a little bit more, it could be a little, but it's roughly around 93,000 something. So there's a lot of people incarcerated in prison. I mean, I read one article some time ago. It says that England was the lockup capital of Europe. More people have been incarcerated than anywhere else in Europe. Apparently, well, as I say, I stand corrected. There are lots of stats out, and sometimes you don't even know which one to. But I dragged this one off some government website, I think it was, and it was 93,000 something last count. Now, that's whether it's 93 or 92 or 91, that's a large amount of people incarcerated by any count. Okay, so I'm not even going to go into specifics here. It doesn't really matter. Now, I just want to talk about the cost of locking up someone, incarcerating someone. Is it worth it in the end? And are we creating monsters of tomorrow, which we'll have to fight? We are, creating a lot of people that have no reason to be there. And I'll give you some examples why people, are being incarcerated into these institutions, most of which is privately run by corporations that best interest is to, because without the prisons there's no money. So there's obviously business in prison, because if there's no prisoners there, there's no money there. So the more people in there is the more money they make. Now look at this situation. Now it costs. I bring up some stats the other day, and figures the other day, and it costs £64,000 to from the stop on the road. The police or officer may stop you, whether it is for a good reason or not. Most of the time, it's for no lawful reason why they stop you. For instance, they say they sniff, they say they smell your marijuana in the car. They don't never say they smell cigarette. They never say they smell cigar, tobacco. They never say they smell any other leaf. Only the one leaf that they target, and a subsection of a certain group of society, a certain racial profiling. Most of the time that will be going on. If they stop a certain set of people, a certain group of people, a certain class of people, more or less they will find some form of marijuana on them, and then before you know it, the poor chap is incarcerated because they find him with a little cancer stick in his hand, the same cancer stick like cigarette, like cigar, and like that old good old glue that the other ones they sniff and pass out with their eyes looking backwards like lobsters. So there we go. So let's let's break down the figures. I got some stats here. I got some figures here. I brought up, and they're quite disturbing to say the least. One of the so it's got so to incarcerate you from the stop on the street to the courthouse, and from the courthouse to the cell, it's roughly in the region of about 65,000 pounds. Okay, it's 65,000 pounds to lock you up off the street, minding your own business for no lawful reason. Most of the time, I believe, in my opinion, most of the time, for no lawful reason, maybe legal reason, but not lawful reasons, and they will incarcerate 65,000 pounds from the stop on the street to the courthouse to the prison cell. Somewhere along that chain between the stop on the street, the courthouse, and the prison cell, lots of roughly 10-20 people get paid out of this £65,000 it costs. If you break it down between 10 people, say the policeman or woman that may stop you, those two people, then the court, the lawyers, the barristers, the clerk, the judge, and whatnot. To the prison officer will take you in a van to the cell, £65,000. Break it down between, I'll just use rough figures here. Break it down between those 10 people, you're looking at £6,500 each. So if you just break it down like that, I'm just doing the maths here roughly. So if you break it down like that, you look at £6,500 for your incarceration for doing minding your own business. Okay? The same cancer stick you have in your hand, that marijuana leaf from a branch of a tree or some twigs, I don't know what they call it, leaf. The man has the tobacco, the man has the cigarette, whatever, and the other one alien glue, sniffing glue. And 65,000 pounds. And each of those 10 people, roughly, say, I'm just going to use some rough numbers here, that were involved in your incarceration, imprisonment, for forced imprisonment, false imprisonment also, 65,000 pounds. Each of them, if it's split between the 10, 6,500 each. Now that's a good business. That's a very good business. If I get 6,500 pounds for locking up somebody for no good reason, most of the time, in my opinion, then 6,500 pounds is a good day's work. That's the average man don't make that. That's some good wage. I'm not saying each of them get that. I'm just saying if you break down, it costs 65,000 pounds from the stop on the street to the courthouse, and then drag you off to a cell unwarranted, a cell. 65,000 pounds. If you break it down, who gets all this? Who gets benefit from? Who gets paid from the 65,000 pounds? You would come to the conclusion that if 5 people are involved, the courts, the barrister, the jury, the lawyer, the policeman on the streets, maybe 10, 15 people involved, roughly about, not even 6,500, say 1,000 pounds each. Just break it down as low as that. Not even 6,500, say 1,000 pounds each. So if I drag somebody off the street, I get 1,000 pounds. That's a good business. Now I'm not saying that's what they do. All I'm saying is, I'm just breaking down the numbers here. So if 10 or 15 people involved, from dragging you off the street to the cell, from the courthouse to the cell, 65,000 pounds. Break it down between 10, 15 of us. That's a good payday. That's a very good payday. Roughly over $2,000 each. But, 6,500, but say between 10 people, but say 20 people are involved. Say even 3,000 pounds each, 1,000 pounds each. That's still good. And it costs an extra 40,000 pounds a year for that poor chap to sit down in a cell wondering, what has he done to deserve this? I was only minding my own business. All I did was to show him a finger. All I did was to say something that he didn't like. Maybe a swear word, maybe I didn't mean it. We all do things that we didn't mean. But even if he did swear at an officer, so what? Many people swear at me. He's as much right as I have. I'm a sovereign. He's a sovereign when he takes off that uniform. Some people don't like me. Some people like me. So what? I'm not gonna lock up everybody because they don't like me, or because they swear at me, or because they show me a finger. Has he done me any wrong? Has he caused injury or my loss? Why am I gonna destroy his life and his livelihood and his childhood because he happens to be smoking a cancer stick that I disagree with? So that's it. 65,000 pounds. Everybody gets paid. Everybody in La La Land. Happy days for everyone. Everybody's well paid at the demise of their fellow man. Now you see why it pays to lock people up. Because everybody gets well paid. The lawyers get well paid. The judges, the policeman on the street. Everybody gets well paid. He gets a salary. He doesn't get none of that big money I'm talking about. They just get standard salaries. But somebody within that chain gets a big whopper out of all this money. 65,000 pounds. Now the extra 40,000 pounds a year, let's break that down now. The extra 40,000, I don't want to keep these videos too long because people's attention span is very short. So I want to keep it short and sweet here and just straight to the point. Now let's break down the other 40,000 pounds per year to incarcerate somebody off the street. Now, 40,000 pounds. So the prisoner will have stuff like food, 500 pounds for the year, electricity, light, water, another 1,500 pounds, TV and gym, 1,000. Say it costs 5,000 pounds to give him clothes, food, that, whatever, gym, and a couple of phone calls here and there, and to use the light that is in his little 6x6 cell or whatever they call it, with some old dirty urine staring on the floor and some god-awful sponge with old foam, with some old plastic over it, stained with all kind of old dribble, and everybody, old junkies, going there with their eyes turning backward like lobsters. Everybody is sitting on that thing. Hundreds of thousands of people, and they expect you to go in there and sit on that thing. But anyway, say it costs 5,000 pounds to keep him in there for 1 year, for his food, clothes, and whatnot. It costs 40,000 pounds, okay? An extra 40,000 pounds every year. So 65,000 pounds from taking you off the street for no good reason most of the time, in my opinion. and drag you off to a cell against your will. False imprisonment, forced imprisonment, and false of all kind of battery and assault. You name it, all the demonic, the wicked crimes that they commit against people on a daily basis. And they 65. So break down to 40,000 now. So say the prisoner or the man or woman they lock up unlawfully. Most of the time, in my opinion, some of them they're very for very good lawful reasons they're there, and they're rightfully so. They should be locked up. Some very very bad people out there walking around with knives and guns and ready to kill people. If you say anything to them, they're very very bad people, very very bad human beings. Very sad. But it's the monstrosity, is the system we create. Most of the time, those who will do you in with a knife are the same ones who just come out of prison, or the same ones who have nothing else to live for because their life has been destroyed from their young. Their whole childhood has been destroyed. Their life. Anyway, we're not going to stray too far from the argument here. Now, but I'm just saying, the same man and woman that be walking around the street, those kids and all that, they have no parents. Most of them, their parents are doing 3-4 jobs. The poor lady at home, she's so tired. She can't pay nanny and babysitters to teach her son 2 plus 2 until she gets home. Then she send them off to bed. No, they've been out there playing all day and they haven't learned anything. They haven't learned anything. They have done nothing productive all day. Anyway, let's not stray too far. But I'm saying they're the same ones that will come and stab you with a knife or carry a gun. They're the same one who's likely to do it. Okay? And that's mostly the reason why they do it, because they haven't had any good upbringing and they come from very socio-economic background. It's very poor, very bad socio-economic upbringing. Okay, the backgrounds, the pay was low, the food was the jobs, the quality of jobs were low, the housing was low, the education was low, everything was low. What do you think you were going to produce? What do you think you were going to produce? Of course they were going to walk around with knives. Of course they were going to walk around with guns. Of course they were going to be selling marijuana to make ends meet. I'm just saying, that's what lots of people who do financial crimes and all, that's why they do it, to make ends meet. That's what they'll tell you. They do it because they need more money. Most of the financial terrorists, all these people who does the white collar crimes, they do it because they want money. The same man on the street who walks up and down and sell whatever, he does it because he wants to make money. Okay, are you going to give him a job? No. Are you going to take care of him? No. So what do you expect him to do? I'm not saying that's what he should do. I'm just saying if all else fails, and in his opinion, he can't do anything else, he hasn't got any education, and his postcode is wrong, come from some god-awful year that crime rate is high, most people are not going to employ him. Anyway, so the 40,000, let's break it down. So the prisoner, the man or woman who's been incarcerated, may cost the state an extra 40,000 a year. They might spend on him extra 5,000 food, clothing, TV license, they'll watch a bit of TV, go to the gym, all the bits and pieces, whatever, phone calls, light and whatnot. Say 5,000. He locks up in a 6x6, or I don't know what they call it. It's a small, tiny, little god-awful thing. Now, who gets the other 35,000? Now, the other 35,000 goes to some place, someone, some company. I don't know who gets it or what gets it. But if it's a private corporation, then somebody gets it. It goes into some executive pocket. It goes somewhere. Right? It goes into a kitty and everybody gets paid from that kitty. So one person, they earn 35,000 from one person. There's 90, almost 100,000 people in prison, incarcerated. In public prisons and in private prisons. A lot of people in prisons. They're all inspected from time to time by their Majesty, whatever, prison services, whatnot. But it doesn't make a difference to the poor conditions that they're in. And then you got 22% cuts in prison funding in between 2009 and 2010. 2010 or 10-11 was one of the highest expenditure rate of expenditure, almost 5 billion, 4 point something, 4.9 or something, billion pounds spent on the prison system, because so much people are there when they should not be there. They haven't done a single thing wrong to a man or a woman on the street. Nobody they have done anything wrong to. They might show you a finger and you lock them up. It costs 65,000 to lock somebody up, and then another 40,000 a year. And half of them, I believe, in my opinion, they have no good reason, no lawful reason. More than they might have been disrespectful to an officer or something like that. And maybe they have a cancer stick in their hand, like the man who sniffed the glue and his eye goes backwards. Looking at something like The Exorcist. But still, 65. So who gets the other 35,000? So over a 5 year period. So if every time you incarcerate somebody gets 65,000 in the court system, between the court, the police, by the time you drag him off to the cell, the police, the courts, and all that, 65,000. You only have to arrest 5 people, 175,000 pounds, 175,000. Okay, just to sorry, 325,000. 325,000 pounds just for 5 people. You drag them in, drug 5 people in, 300 odd grand in our pockets between, I don't know, the 10 or 20 people that may benefit from that kind of system. They're dragging you off the street and bring you to a court, and from the court or straight to the cell. You only have to get 5 people in, and it's 325,000 pounds at 65,000 a piece. I'm in the wrong business. You know what I mean? Just being humorous here. But come on. You drag 5 people off the street for no good reason. You destroy their lives, and when they come back out and selling this and selling that and walking around with all kind of dangerous objects on them, you say they're monsters. But you forget that the monsters themselves destroyed their lives in the beginning. It was the same monsters and the monstrous system that works against these people in the first place that create the monsters we're fighting tomorrow. We will have to fight. The same monsters that you're calling, they're the same people we have to fight tomorrow. It's a vicious, wicked system. And I'm not saying, I believe we have some of the, I said this before and I say it again, I believe we have some of the best police officers in the world, best law enforcement agencies in the world. However, sometimes it gets out of hand, and the legal system is growing such a vast institution. I mean, every year you have thousands and thousands of statutes, and nobody knows what these things are. The next day you wake up, you can't park in front of your house. The next day you wake up, you can't drive through there, otherwise you get that's an £80 fine or £130 fine. And you wonder, I was able to do it yesterday. I just parked there yesterday. I live here. And now I can't park in front of my house. Because you see somebody sits down in the office and draws scribble his name on a pen and dribbling all over the paper, has no worth to society or humanity. Never done an honest day's work in his life. And he sits down there dribbling over a piece of paper, crawling his name over every person's, over everything he sees on the paper, signing it and signing people's to their destruction. And he goes on with his big fat slumbering self, comfortable and happy, god awful, no good of society. And he's the same one that will destroy your life and then turn around and look at you and call you some vicious names, slander your name. Jamaicans are this and Jamaicans are that, or Africans are this or Africans are that, or Pakistanis are Pakistani, and everybody slanders everybody's name. But they're the same one who destroy your lives. They destroy your kids' lives. They take them off the street for no good reason. And when they come out in 5 years' time for some trivial, stupid charge that's unlawful anyway, then they turn around and say you're a criminal. They don't give you no work, and even if you go work for them, it's like a sweatshop. You work for some minimum wage, and by the time you go to that god-awful job center, you know what happens to you? They tell you to get some minimum wage job. It's like they lock you up just to get these people on cheap wages. So when they destroy your life, then they send you to that old job center, and before you know it, they are telling you you must get a minimum wage job. And who's the same people who run these institutions? These big old logistics companies. They want you to go throw up suitcases in planes and move all kind of big old television and fridges from warehouse to warehouse, and from warehouse to cargo planes, or from big lorries to warehouse, and from warehouse to lorries. But it doesn't matter where they want you to work in these big factories. They're the same ones who own it, the same ones who destroy your lives. It's like they send out their hired mercenaries to go out there and destroy your lives, and then turn around and say you're no good to society, you have a criminal record, you have this, you can't get a job, you can't get a good job. Send you to come and work for us in our city. They don't tell. It's a tentacle. It's a whole web-like system, and they're all the same ones who either they're big shareholders in it, or there's some executive on the boards. They run the same companies. Their names are they have no names on it, but they own lots of shares in it, and if not, they're the executives on the boards. Lord and Minister of Minister, they all have their hands in all these mega businesses. They all benefit. The same business they're using is like Amazon. I was watching this, I don't know, news something, and it says Amazon is now the biggest company in the world. And I heard on one of the other talk show programs, they were saying that the Amazon, I don't know, owner or whatever, is now the richest man in the world, or executive or something like that, something like Steve Jobs of Apple and whatnot. He's now the richest man in the world, and some of his workers have to be sleeping in the back of God knows some old warehouses just to they have no house. Some very very sad situation some of the workers are in, and he can come and palaver with himself about shout out he's the richest man in the world. That's what they have him on the news to be, the richest man in the world that runs a company that after many of the workers can't even make ends meet. That's what I heard it on the news, some talk show program, and I see it on some CNBC or so. Some news is announced how glorious, rich this man was, or this individual was. I don't know if he's a man or woman. I have no idea. So I'm not going to sit here and make assumptions. But how glorious this individual was, and after some of the workers there can't make it. It's struggling. So it's on the back of the sorrows of the sovereign, the peoples of the land. Thank God this is a common law country, and thank God the common law is the superior law of this land. We still have some hope. And thank God again, we have some of the best police officers in the world, best justice system in the world. And I have to say, but unfortunately, most of our police officers, they don't know the law. And they will quickly, like Himmler's SS, they're following orders. No matter what heinous crimes against humanity, we're following orders. And it's like following orders mean you just do whatever you feel like to, whatever they tell you to do, you do it. Even if it means destroy a whole society that you might come from. Like that poor Jap, the African officer or the Jamaican officer that will go around and try to destroy his own black brother, his own fellow countryman, without even knowing that he's destroying his own societies, the same societies he's looking down on, because he's somewhat to find himself now in a better position, getting a better pay, and maybe have some foreign wife, and think now that he's superior now to everybody else, and he rejects his own society. I'm not saying they all do that. I'm just saying some of them who have no idea of what is lawful or legal, and they have turned their back on their own societies because they look down on it and say, oh, they're all drug dealers, they're all parasites, they're all carrying guns, they're all shooting and killing each other. Because the system is also creating the monsters we're fighting, and they're not looking at that. They're not looking that the reason may be, half of the reason may be, is that we ourselves to be blamed as officers. And we ought to be more careful when we stereotype people, when we destroy our youngsters' lives. What do you expect we're going to produce? Next day he's going to pick up a gun and maybe get me while he's shooting. Maybe he'll get me while he's at it. Don't I think about the consequence of tomorrow? Yeah, my kids are alright. They're all in Eton College and they're all in Oxford and they're all doing well. What about the next door neighbor's kids that you just arrest and destroy his life because he showed you a finger? And it hurt your feelings, and you think you're above everybody else, so nobody can criticize you or nobody can talk to you because you're superior. Anybody can talk. Some people don't call to me. Does it bother me? No. Am I disappointed? No, because I wasn't expecting you to call to me. Who the hell I am that I think you have to call to me? Well, you don't want to call to me, you don't call to me. If I was running a business and all my workers come in and never say good morning, do I care? No. All I want them is to do the job and go home. I'm not there because I want their respect. I'm there because I want to run a business. I don't care whether you call to me or not, whether you respect me or not. Just mind your own business, do your job, and go home. That if people could just think like that. I never get disappointed with anything or anyone because I'm not expecting anything from anyone. Well, why should I be expecting it? What did I give you? Should I be expecting anything? Am I superior? God, Lord, justice of God knows what? Lord of some, the kind of titles they give themselves these days, and think it gets to their heads. And they think there's a superior now than the sovereign, than the people of the land. These are very disturbing attitudes when people have, when they put on uniforms and think they're above everybody else. No, you're a servant. That's your title, servant. The people created this position so that you can serve them. That's all you are, a servant. When you take off that the uniform, then you are sovereign. Then you have rights. But you don't have rights when you have the uniform. You have duties, obligations, and privileges. When you take it off, then you have rights. You're sovereign. You're one of us. But while in the uniform, you're working for a corporation against the people. You're not working for us. You're working for a corporation. You're an officer of an office that we pay you for, but it seems like it's back way now. It's working against us because you're stopping us for trivial things and destroying our lives. And then when they come and turn all these monsters that you're fighting, then you blame them and you blame their parents. The poor woman was doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs, minimum wage, some stupid, pathetic pain, worse than a pauper's dole. By the time the woman gets in, the kid was playing all day. She couldn't pay a babysitter to teach him 2 plus 2. But the well-to-do people could. The people with the right postcode could. And those who benefit the most from the system, whether they have talent or not, whether they have anything to offer or not, is who knows who and friends of who and families of who. They get all the benefit from the system, whether they're talented or useful to society or not. They just hand down all their wealth to their kids, whether they're any use to society or not. Non-productive, doesn't matter. They get all the money. So the attitude is wrong when people try to destroy people. Another problem is it's the same thing as the ticketing system. When they come and they put all these tickets and notice on your car, it's penalty fines and all that. Half of the time, they don't have anything on them, no contact details. And I'm going to go into this for a little bit because it's the same system at work here, and there's no contact details on these ticket systems, on these ticketing charges and whatnot. They put in your car and run off in the darkness. These kind of, you see, there's no address details, nothing there, no contact number, nothing, and it's deliberately designed like this for you not to be able to challenge it. You see, you can't challenge it because it's deliberate. And what they do, they scribble a little thing like that and say that's my signature. So only one party signed this contract. Only one party signed this agreement. See, only one party signed it. Only one. So I must pay for something that I did not sign to. There was no meetings of the mind, and nobody told me about it. And those who came and drop it through my door, stick it on my car, and run off in the darkness like Casper the Ghost. Don't know who it is that put it on my car. No name, no address, no details. All they say is paid. No details to contact them with, no details to dispute it. And if you do go on that pathetic website there, because they have for appeal, I don't know what you're appealing, because there was no contract in the first place to appeal. I didn't agree to anything. So what is there to appeal? Am I agreeing that there was some dispute, some controversy? No. You're telling me to appeal what? I'd signed nothing. I'd done no business with these people. Why am I appealing? What is there to appeal? I got no benefits from them. Did they come and change my car tire? No. Did I put some hair in it? No. Well, so what is there to? I had no business. I had no knowledge of this. How can I just pay for it? There's no name on it. John Henry Doe. There's no name. There's only thing that's on it. It's a scribble. That's all there is. A scribble. A scribble. One party sign it. Only one party. A scribble. Just paid. It's a scribble. Nobody knows who. Casper the Ghost. But who am I dealing with exactly? Nobody knows. And that's the kind of problem we're facing in society, where people just find themselves caught up in this web of deception, lies, and treachery against the people, and then you can't do anything about it. But as I say, thank God it's a common law land. We still have the superior law of the land, the common law, the laws of the sovereign. Unwritten law. If I didn't do you anything, you don't owe me anything. No injury, harm, or loss, you don't owe me nothing. And again, as I say, it's intertwined in the criminal system, the same system that will put this on your car, and within 3 months, within 3, 4, 5 months, you could find yourself behind bar because some ghostly apparition appear, put it on your car, and run off in the darkness. By the time you get to your car, by the time you come to you open your door, you see all these things, and you wonder where they're for, who sent them, and you have no idea. But it's a way to catch you in the system where you can't get, like a noose. It's a trap. It's intentional to trap you there. No appeal, no dispute. There was a controversy, you know nothing about it, but you must pay, otherwise we come to your house, we take out your stuff, we seize your car, we seize your bank account, we garnish your paycheck, we take your life, we take your liberty, we take your property, we take your freedom, we trespass on your rights, we will destroy you. because some ghostly apparition appears, Casper and his friends, some some demon, put it on your property, race off, and you'll never find them. You, sir, good sir, what's your name? You put this, what's this bill about? Could you please explain to me what is this for? I don't understand. Oh no, can't find nobody to explain anything to you. And when you call them and say, oh, well, if you don't pay, we come and take away your stuff. I thought that we create government to protect the rights and property of man. I didn't know we create government to destroy the rights and take away the property of man. I didn't know that. That is I only come to, but thank God, as I say, we live in a common law. I don't want to get back to the officers out there again. I don't believe whether you're a warrant officer come and put in these little offers for contract on people's car, or you're a police officer driving around in your BMW or your Mercedes, whatever the taxpayers they pay for, whatever your fancy little job is and your comfortable lifestyle. I'm not going to sit here and slack them off and say they're a bunch of pirates. No, I'll never say that. But what I'll say is that they ought to be very conscious about what they're doing to, especially the youngsters. I want to appeal to the youngsters here. If you do injury, harm, or loss to your fellow man, don't even call me. I didn't want you can stay in jail and rot, because I believe that there's a chance if you it's your first offense. I believe that the people will obviously look at you and say, all right, look, little laddie, we warn you about this. You're a grown man now. You understand the difference between right and wrong. What is lawful and legal might be out. What is legal might be out of your understanding for now, because there's tens of thousands of these statutes. Nobody knows them. Even those who write them don't. You ask them one, or you forget what the 19 million one was, but he wrote it. But he's been writing so much of them, busy writing so much of them. He didn't remember what the first one he wrote was. You ask any one of these prime ministers about those life in the UK testing that they're giving foreigners, and most of them will never pass that thing. Most of the people who live here will never pass that thing, but they're expecting foreigners to pass it. My point is, the system is so geared against the people. It's just unbelievable. But all I'm going to say on this topic before I cut it off here, because I don't want to keep it too long, is I'm appealing to the better, the good nature of the people, the men and women out there in uniforms who are really, really, really doing a lot of harm to their societies by destroying the young people's lives. You can imagine you take away a father who was busy smoking his marijuana on a corner somewhere, talking to the ladies or whatever he does, minding his own business. You take that man off the street that possibly has to go to work tomorrow, possibly has to contribute somewhat to the house. He may not have it in paper saying, oh, I get this pay, here's my paycheck. He may not have it in pay, but whatever it does, he might have contributed somehow. You take him off, now the poor woman now is alone, poor mother now is alone, and that kid has to be brought up. And while he would be there half the time, even a quarter of the time, putting some sense into that little one, say, look, don't be like me, even just saying those simple words. Try not to be like me, try to become something in life. And I know a lot of fathers who say that to their kids. Son, daughter, don't be like me, don't do what I do. Try to become something, make me proud. I know a lot of hard oppressed fathers and mothers who say that to their kids. It's a sad reality. And that and that father, even if he was there 10% of the time, I know lots of them come home and they say, don't be like me. I've made bad decisions in my life. I've done things in hindsight I wouldn't have. I should have studied. I should have gone to. If I only knew. I know lots of mothers. They sit their kids down and they try to tell them, please don't do what I did. I have made mistakes. When I'm going to work, or whatever the pathetic little wage I'm getting, try to get something better. They'll take that man off the street. They'll take that from minding his own business. They'll lock him up because they can get well paid. They tell him to plead guilty for no crime at all. No man or woman has ever come forth and testify that that man has done me wrong. And they destroy that man's life because they're well paid to do it. It is a very sad reality. And it's the system itself, those who govern this, those who make it, those who create this thing that the people had no consent to, had no agreement with what monstrosity that was created in the end. The system should really work for the people. It's not working against the people. The sovereign is now the servant. The servant is the sovereign. Men and women in uniforms are telling their fellow man what to do. It's wrong. It's backwards. Like the man who hailed the glue or sniffed the glue and his eyes go backwards. Is that something from The Exorcist? I'm not saying people who sell all these vicious substances, they should all, be, somehow they should be punished. I'm not saying you should destroy their lives, because the pharmaceutical companies are the biggest sellers of these codeine and Neparax, the cocodiatamol. What do you think it is? Painkiller, right? Cocaine. Codeine, whatever they call it, they're all some form of cocaine. The biggest sellers of these things are legally allowed to do it. They only target the poor little man that is but I'm not saying that anybody should be selling these things. I don't advocate selling drugs, smoking drugs, taking drugs. I don't even drink myself very much. If I go to one social, I may have a glass of wine or maybe a couple of beers, but that's about it. And I sleep myself. I rock myself to a good sleep, because as soon as I get drunk, I just want to sleep anyway. I don't know how some people do it. You can stay up all night and doing the singing, singing Kumbaya. When I have a drink, and so I just want to sleep. But anyway, I don't want to keep it too long here. I think I might have gone over my time here. But listen, I'm just saying that somebody is benefiting vastly from imprisoning people, and those who are the beneficiaries of this system ought to look into themselves and say the prison population is so high. Why is it getting so high? What can we do about it? Can we stop locking up people for trivial things? Did he commit injury, loss, or harm? Who has he done wrong to? Well, leave the man alone. Leave the woman alone. Go and lock up somebody for good reason, like somebody who sticks somebody with a knife, break a bottle and stab somebody with it unprovoked. If he's defending himself, we have to look into that. Self-defense is one of those rights a man has. If you attack me, I can use reasonable force to defend myself. It's within my right to save my own buttocks, put it that way. I have to save my life or the life of my kids, or if somebody comes in my house or somebody try to do my kids wrong, I will have to weigh up the differences here and use reasonable force to defend myself or my family or those who are around me or been unlawfully pursued. So as I say, somebody is benefiting vastly from this. It was the locking up 5 prisoners at 35,000 apiece, 40,000 to keep him there for the year. He costs you 5,000. Who gets there at 35,000? 5 of them will give you 175,000. Nice little money in the kitty there. I don't know who's putting their hands in the cookie jar, but whoever is putting their hands in there should stop and look when they take out the other little bundle and think, you know what, Jesus, how many lives have destroyed? What kind of skeleton in my closet? How many lives have destroyed every time I put my hand in this cookie jar? Take out a bit more cookie. There's somebody's kid, somebody's father. How many people, the poor custody officer, where he gets about 20 grand a year, 21 grand, 19, 20, I don't know what he gets, some G-Force, all the other private companies that run these places, or the government institute, the government, public prisons. They might get between 15 and 20 or 30,000 a year. And it costs 100,000 to keep the guy in there. He gets 20,000, somebody else and the system gets the other 80,000. So the prison guard, the man who's there in custody work and whatnot, they'll give about 19, 15, whatever thousand they get. And then the other 70, 80, whatever thousand goes to somebody else or some other corporation or something. If the prisoner costs about 5,000, then who gets the 35,000? So you lock up 5 of them, it's 175,000. That's a sweet little money there. It's a good business. You know, for the court system, 65,000, split it between 10, 20 of them. Everybody is nice. 3,000 each, 6,500 each, if it's 10 of them. I'm not saying that's exactly the numbers breaking down. I'm just saying roughly. If 10, 15 people involved, it's still over 2, 3, 4 grand each. Just to take somebody off the street for no lawful reason, lock him up. And then you talk about the prison population is overcrowded. And then you talk about there's 22% cuts in funding. While the prison population goes up because it's still good business. What lawful reason you have to lock up a man that sticks his hands out at his tongue? So what? What do you think you are? That nobody can criticize you? Or, you know, say something that you don't like? People say things about me all the time, so what? I'm not going to lock everybody up. So all I'm saying is that and as I say, I urge everybody to do their best to stay out of trouble, especially young people. Comply with the system as much as you can, as long as you don't give up your rights in the process. If the officer approaches you, don't be abusive to them. They're only man or woman in uniform. When they take it off, they're the same sovereign like you. You're their fellow man. It just is next door to you, good old Bobby down the road. When he takes off his uniform, you go and have a good old slap up meal and a drink at a pub. So you laugh and you talk, and he goes back to this for a few more lives tomorrow. If he's that, he'll consider it about the his fellow man. But if he's a considerate, not normal, decent, nice human being, then you'll obviously always take in account that he is perhaps doing some harm to his fellow man, and he will think twice about doing it. So all I have to say is that I hope our officers and men in uniform could be more educated. I would urge the public at large not to be abusive to them. They're only doing a job. However, you know, that job, you just have to know your rights so that you don't get caught up in this web of destruction. Because all it's creating is more thieves and terrorists and parasite people walking on knives and guns, selling crack on the street. That's all it's creating. That's all it's creating. Monsters of tomorrow that we will have to fight. People on the streets who want to kill us. And you wonder why this man is so angry. Why this man is walking around with a knife. Why are these 10 youths, why are they walking around selling weed or selling whatever they're selling? But let us examine the problem instead of having it to deal with tomorrow and putting Band-Aid over it. Over a massive wound. Let's prevent the wound in the first place. Well, I think I'm going to cut it off here. I hope I was able to kind of knock some sense into some people, and I hope I was able to say something, shed some light on the prison system and why people get incarcerated for, all these reasons. So I'll cut it off here, and as I say, the parking ticket systems, they're all intertwined. You don't pay them over a certain time, come take all your stuff from you. Carry off with all your stuff. Okay, I hope I was helpful today to you in some way, shape, or form. As I said, I don't give legal advice, I don't give lawful information, general information to those who are willing to hear it. Also, I thank everybody for their participation, and welcome to all those who just joined the program. And of course, I appreciate all your donations, your subscriptions, and your thumbs up on the good old YouTube channel there. Have a like on me on Facebook there. My website is www.commonlawsolution.org. My email address is commonlawsolution@gmail.com. My contact number is 075-774-62704. And of course, you press the little microphone and WhatsApp button there, and you send me a message. Come directly to my number. I will hear your message. I will answer it and I'll upload it onto the platform so that others can hear the answers to the various questions asked. Okay, I want to say a big thank you to all. And God bless, and I hope to see you in the next program. In subsequent programs to come, we'll go deeper and deeper into the court system, and we follow up all the cases that we have running at the moment, and I'll give you all the results when they roll in. And hopefully I can, help you all, and we'll continue to learn. It's a learning process. This is a lifestyle. Learning common law, learning about your rights and your property, and injury loss. This is a lifestyle. So you gotta dedicate yourself, learn something new today, especially something that can help you in your daily life. We all have cars. We're gonna get them ticket fines. We're gonna get them charges, and we just need to deal with them. Okay. So God bless you all next time, and I hope I was able to, say something positive. Have a good day.